breaking news of several fires in southern Colorado.
Let's begin with News Channel 13's Colleen Sikora, who is live along I-25, where a fire near Hanover has forced quite a few evacuations this afternoon. Colleen?
Yeah, Bart and Heather, we are at mile marker 117, just north of County Line Road. I'm going to go ahead and step out of the way as things have changed drastically here on the east side of I-25 since this fire started. We originally saw flames when we got here more than an hour and a half ago, just on the other side of these railroad tracks. But as you can see, those flames have pushed back significantly. We have seen several different smoke plumes in the area, and several crews here trying to get this fire put out. Now, I said things have changed drastically here, but one thing that has not changed is the wind. It has been relentless. At times, even hard for my photographer and I to stand up. But unfortunately, we have seen a structure burn out here. That fire, it appears to be put out, but we cannot tell whether that structure is still standing or not. Again, that wind has been blowing constantly, and I cannot imagine how difficult that wind is making it for firefighters. But as you can see, that smoke plume here on the east side of I-25 growing significantly. That smoke plume started probably about 10 minutes before we were live here on KRDO, but crews have been moving into that area ever since that point and have been trying to get that fire put out. But again, the wind, absolutely brutal out here. We are waiting on some information on exactly how this fire started, what exactly crews are facing, and how difficult this fight has been. We will, of course, keep you updated through the networks of KRDO. Reporting live, Colleen Sikora, KRDO News Channel 13.
And Colleen, before you go, we can see that fire is now reaching a series of homes out there, getting into a more populated area. You actually saw a building of some sort go up in flames. Have you seen any more go up in flames as well?
So that fire was just over here past this tree. That is the closest one that we've been able to see. All the others have seemed to have been blocked by a lot of trees and brush and such, to the point where we can't really see exactly what firefighters are dealing with or exactly what is burning. So all we know right now is just that one structure that we had seen out there. Again, couldn't tell exactly what kind of structure it was, whether it was a house, a barn, or another outbuilding. But any other structures burning out here, we have not seen them.
All right, Colleen, thanks for the update. We want to quickly recap the evacuation area right now. It continues to move to the east. The latest evacuation area, the west boundary, is South Peyton Highway. And this is actually an older map. I don't even think this is up to date. You see the Hanover School area right there. That is Peyton Highway right there. So now we're talking about everything to the east of that, east of this map. The west boundary is Peyton Highway. The east boundary is Boone Road. The north boundary, Squirrel Creek Road, which is actually where deputies have just been moved back to in order to get out of the fire zone. And the south boundary, Myers Road. So if you live in the Boone Road area, even towards Truckton, this is something you're going to want to watch very closely over the next hour, hour and a half or so. This might be the fastest moving fire we have seen yet this year. We have a view of it right now from our Cheyenne Mountain camera. Earlier today, our camera really couldn't see much at all because it was just so dusty in today's winds. You couldn't actually pick up the smoke. But now we believe we're seeing two fires here. The one on the left is the one burning in the Hanover area. The one south is the one in the Pueblo area. No estimates on size yet, but obviously if you can see it this far away from Cheyenne Mountain looking at Hanover and Pueblo County, you know they're pretty significant in size.
And there you already see a charred zone there in the lower left-hand side of your screen. Presumably from one of those fires that burned in the last couple of weeks. It is so dry out here in southern Colorado. We want to send it now out to our crews in Pueblo County where they...
And welcome back to our coverage of a number of fires right now burning across southern Colorado. Here is a view from our Cheyenne Mountain camera. You can see, we think, a couple of them here. The one in the middle towards the left side of your screen, that is the largest. That is the 117 fire that started near Wigwam, burned towards Hanover, now heading toward Truckton. On the right side of your screen there, we believe at the far corner there, you see the remnants of that fire burning down just south of the airport in Pueblo County.
And the evacuations are widespread here. KRDO News Channel 13's Colleen Sikora and Chase Golightly are live near the Hanover fire, also called the 117 fire. We start off with Colleen. What is it looking like now, Colleen?
Well, Bart and Heather, you know, the winds continue to be very, very strong. I'm going to go ahead and step out of the way so hopefully you guys can hear me a little better. But the winds keep changing out here. First, I want to show you, this is where we think that the fire must have started and then went ahead and pushed east to now where it has grown significantly. I know we have been saying, you know, it's grown 15 miles in 3 hours, so about 5 miles an hour. This fire continues to grow. Every time that we show you the smoke plume, it continues to change. This new black, thick smoke that just started as this live shot started. And clearly growing very, very quickly. We have seen a lot of crews out here working to try and get things under control from all the way over to the very south end of this fire where crews are still stationed. We've seen them moving into kind of this thick smoke area. We've seen a number of plumes of smoke kind of come across this main field. Again, you're looking due east. We are at I-25, about mile marker 117, just north of County Line Road, and this is kind of the view that we have. A lot of smoke, a lot of firefighters and crews out here working to get this contained, but these winds do not stop. They continue to gust very, very hard, very, very quickly, and the fuels here are very, very dry. Just kind of want to show you these a little bit. But this is very, very dry here. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to send it back to the studio. We're going to continue monitoring this fire live in El Paso County. Colleen Sikora, KRDO News Channel 13.
And miles of that dry grass exists between Colleen and where you see that head of the fire, which is the start of the fire where it's moving towards the north and
dangerous
east.
area, a lot of room to burn. Luckily, not a ton of houses in the fire's path right now, at least so far. A little cluster around the Hanover Schools area, but right now just a lot of open space, a lot of fuel to burn. Breaking news to bring you this evening, a wildfire near Hanover is forcing evacuations.
Hanover schools are now on evacuation status. We want to toss it out to KRDO News Channel 13's Colleen Sikora, who is live near the fire. Colleen.
Bart and Heather, we have seen crews working in the area still here this afternoon, as well as utility crews coming in here. But one thing that we have seen is smoke dying down significantly. A lot of more gray smoke, a lot less black, thick black smoke that we saw earlier today. So hopefully that's good news. But Deputy Fire Marshal in the press conference did say that the fire started along I-25. We have showed you that one burn scar that we saw out here along I-25. It must have pushed the fire east, as the fire marshal had said, and just moved the wind, just pushed this very, very quickly east. We've said, you know, 15 miles in 3 hours is how fast this fire has spread. So that's about 5 miles an hour. And for a fire, as we've said, very, very quickly. But the winds continue out here, and it's making it a very difficult fight for firefighters. We're going to go ahead and send you to sound now. Sheriff Bill Elder spoke on the damage and the difficulty in calling in air resources to help.
We know that we've lost at least 10 structures. We are still moving evacuation lines as we speak. We've lost at least one patrol car and one heavily damaged fire engine. We are working on additional resources. We have authorized Fort Carson for whatever they can bring to the fight. The problem that we've got is high winds, which makes it unsafe to fly with Bambi buckets, the water buckets that they trail below the aircraft.
Again, Sheriff Elder saying a total of 10 structures lost in this fire, a patrol car totally lost, and a fire engine significantly damaged. El Paso County Sheriff's Office says that right now they are focused on saving lives first and foremost, and then we'll go back and work on structure protection. Now again, the winds are a big factor in this 117 fire. Sheriff Elder says that tentatively they're aiming to get some air support in the air, hopefully around 7 o'clock. But again, as he said, you know, the winds need need to die down in order for that fight to be successful. We're of course going to keep an eye on the 117 fire, and we'll keep you updated through the networks of KRDO. We're live in El Paso County. Colleen Sikora, KRDO News Channel 13.
Colleen, thank you so much. And just to give you perspective, we want to show you just how many fires we are tracking at this hour. The biggest one that we just heard from Colleen, just east of Wigwam in the Hanover area, just on the opposite side of Midway. Zero containment of the 117 fire that broke out along I-25 near Wigwam earlier this afternoon. Even tonight, you can see the glow of the fire from our Cheyenne Mountain camera. The winds are now blowing towards the south, prompting a pre-evacuation of the Pueblo Chemical Depot, although the chemical weapons stored there are heavily protected from catching fire.
El Paso County Sheriff Bill Elder said a short time ago they are still in a rescue mode to protect everyone in the fire's path, not focusing on trying to contain it. A last report, 10 structures were lost, including at least a few homes. The sheriff said crews plan to begin attacking the fire tomorrow morning with the help of new resources from the state as well as Fort Carson.
And let's get you out live to KRDO News Channel 13's Colleen Sikora.
She's been tracking the fire since it broke out this afternoon. She has the latest tonight from county leaders. Colleen.
Yeah, Bart and Heather, the big update tonight from Sheriff Elder is that the winds have shifted south, but the winds here remain strong, leaving crews still fighting to contain the 117 fire. Combine strong, unrelenting winds with dry fuels.
This fire took off out there in very, very short order because of those high winds.
Leaves the sun setting on the 117 fire Tuesday without knowing how big it is, sparking on the side of I-25, leaving at least 10 structures and a sheriff's patrol car burned.
We're still in a rescue mode and a search mode. We're not gaining any ground on containment in any way. So it's going to be a long night for the firefighters that are on the line.
Roughly 200 firefighters and 50 law enforcement officers fighting for containment. Sheriff Elder's message to those evacuated: be safe.
Don't try and go back until we can at least get a look at this in the light and from the air, so that we can figure out how best to attack this fire and get it out.
Elder hoping winds die down and fire lines hold overnight to stop the growth of the 117 fire. Elder also said that they are discussing with the state to bring in a Type 2 team, which would bring state resources and funding to the fire. Now, air support will be coming from Fort Carson tomorrow morning at around 7 o'clock to fight the flames from above. We're live in El Paso County. Colleen Sikora, KRDO News Channel 13.
Welcome help there. Colleen, thank you. Of course, the weather was a big part of today's story. It was those gale force winds, hurricane force at some points, that really helped to spread the flames.